And we're back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and welcome back to Mass Effect Legendary Edition with Vin Shepard. Last time, we had just finished our mission on Eden Prime, got knocked out by some space rock, and now we're here and heading for the Citadel. Well, that's for the last time there was actual gameplay. If you want to be technical, the last episode was me reading and listening to codex entries. Anyways, let's head on out and talk to some of our new crewmates.
Glad to see you're okay, Commander.
Hey, Caden.
Commander, I'm glad to see you're okay. Losing Jenkins was hard on the crew, and I'm glad we didn't lose you too.
Well, thanks for that, but how are you holding up?
Things were pretty rough down there.
Yeah, you never get used to seeing dead civilians. Doesn't seem right somehow. But at least you stopped Saren from wiping out the whole colony.
Hey now, don't put this all on me. Couldn't have done it without you being there.
I couldn't have done it without you.
We're Marines. We stick together. And I'm just sorry that we lost Jenkins.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, Jenkins was kind of an idiot. But I'm not just going to say he deserved it or anything, but he did kind of leave himself open to getting hit a little bit. But let's try to be diplomatic here.
Yeah, I wish I could have done something to save him.
I was there. You did everything right. It was just bad luck. It's been a hell of a shakedown, Cruz. Our first mission ends with one Spectre killing another. The Citadel Council's not going to be happy about that. Probably use it to lever more concessions out of the Alliance.
Probably. You know what these politicians are like.
You've got a good grasp of the situation. You a career man?
Yeah, a lot of biotics are. We're not restricted, but we sure don't go undocumented. May as well get a paycheck for it. Besides, my father served. I made him proud when I enlisted. Eventually. But is that why you're here? Because of your family?
Right, our family. Well, they were farmers and Batarian slave raid victims to boot. So, yeah, we are sort of in it to... We were sort of in it initially to get back at the Batarians as much as we can, but these days, not so much. More just because we've been in it for this long, so haven't really found a reason to do anything else yet. I mean, if you actually go looking at the timeline, by the time Mass Effect 1 starts, Commander Shepard's been in the military for about a decade. So, something like that, 10, 11 years. I think by the time the plot redacted point at the start of Mass Effect 2 happens, you're supposed to be about 29, so yeah, that seems about right.
My family were homesteaders on Mindwar. I'm the only one left. But I've moved beyond that.
Oh, that's right, the Blitz. I imagine that bought you any post in the fleet. Word is we're heading for the Citadel, ma'am. Can you, tell me why?
The captain hopes the ambassador can get an audience with the council. Tell them what Saren's been up to.
Makes sense. They'd probably like to know he's not working for them anymore. Whatever happens, we'll be ready, Commander.
Glad to hear it. And Chuck was?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
We'll poke you with some investigate stuff. So that's one thing. In the original... Let's see, how do I put this? That's one thing you got in Mass Effect 1 that sort of got phased out over the others. If I'm remembering right, it was either Paragon Renegade points or just straight up experience, but you got one of them for looking into the various investigate options, which sort of gave you reason to talk to people more, as the long and short of it.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse. And the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Yes, romanticizing military life doesn't matter if it's the 22nd century or the 20th. That seems to be something that keeps happening in some regards, which is kind of amusing, really.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
What do you know about Captain Anderson?
I've served with him for a few tours now. He knows when to let things slide and when to crack the whip. The crew knows he's seen pretty much anything they'll ever run into. And he cares about the people under his command.
Always a good thing to have in a leader, I'd say.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
L2?
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
Why do I not like the sound of that? What kind of complications are we talking about here?
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
Yeah.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Yeah, it gets you experience, as it happens, and I can already hear the people screaming from that. How are those considered side effects? Why use those implants at all? Well, number one, it's established in the lore that humans need implants to use biotics at all. So it's use the unstable implants or don't have your biotics, which are also established to be a pretty major part of how militaries function in this particular setting. So you don't want to handicap yourself by not having biotics. Also, from what I recall, the implant before the L2 was basically so low powered it was nearly unusable. Think like in the way the first ever firearms would have been, and compared to modern rifles. That sort of gap between the first and second generation. Although I could be misremembering that, to be fair. That's what it seems like. Anyways, yeah. That would be why they were using it, because the previous model basically did nothing. Anyways, let's talk to Ashley.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
Yes, they could. We will probably miss him, some of them will, but I barely knew the guy, so...
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
Somehow, I think we would have ended up taking you along anyways.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. That means a lot from you. I've never met anyone who was awarded the Star of Terra.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
Well, glad to have you here.
I think you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
Alright. So yeah. Honestly, I find all of the companion characters in this game to be pretty interesting in one way or another. I won't get into why until she brings it up, but people have a tendency to shit on Ashley. And also Caden to some degree. And don't get me wrong, they have their problems, but I think they're good characters, really.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough on the girl.
Let's just say that if you look at it from the perspective of their character and who they are as people, why they are the way they are makes a little more sense. I'll go into it more when they start to bring up the details between the various missions, but for now, we'd better talk to Joker and Doc at the Citadel.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Look at the size of that ship.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side then.
I'm sorry, but
Citadel
from a
controls
layman's
SSE
perspective,
requesting
the design on the Ascension is absolute shit.
Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Seriously,
Roger, Alliance Tower, Normandy out.
what's the purpose of those octopus-like arms on the side?
Dock 422.
It looks terrible, and I can't see any utility for half the stuff on it. Maybe someone can offer some explanation for why the Ascension is designed the way it is, but as far as I can tell, it's just crap. And it looks nothing like the other Asari ships that you see in this series besides. Which is confusing in and of itself.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony!
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. He needs to be stopped. The Council has to listen to us.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not hers.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
Indeed, Ash. Indeed. This is the first instance in the game of what I'd like to call the interactive movie of Udina and the Council fucking blow. And let's hack this thing just for the lols. Patrol report. Den Hendrickson reported unusual energy readings during a patrol of the Argos Row cluster. She had particular concerns about the Hydra system, but was recalled before her team could investigate further. No patrols are scheduled for that sector. Do we want to send in a recon team? Yes. And that adds a side quest to our list, but it's one we can't do yet because we have to be able to leave the Citadel before we can progress the ones that are out in the wider galaxy. For the time being, though, we're gonna look around and just see if there's anything to do before we head over to this council proper for this hearing.
Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to be your guide.
Yes, this is Avina, the VI for the Citadel, who we can talk to if we want to get extra information. I'll do that later. We can go off to the Citadel Tower to begin things whenever we want. I mean, we could try and wander around and see if there's any other things worth doing in this area, but just at a glance, it doesn't seem worth the bother. We can check around for doing side quests and what have you later. I'm pretty sure the game wants us to go directly to the Citadel Tower and advance the main story right now anyways. That sort of feels like how it's designed for us to do things. And we have arrived at the Citadel Tower. And what have we here?
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the Council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you like him much. I could tell that much at a glance, even having just met you.
Sounds like you really want to bring him down.
I don't trust him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. But he's a Spectre. Everything he touches is classified. I can't find any hard evidence.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
Not bloody likely, given how they were acting towards our ambassador in that last cutscene. I don't like the odds of the Council actually bothering to take what we say at face value, to be frank. Here we are.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off
Proof
guard.
enough that...
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your
So you say
protege,
one
Commander
dock
Shepard.
worker's evidence isn't compelling?
Destroyed.
Well... I'd say it's at least enough to suspend the bit of him being a Spectre that doesn't let CSEC actually investigate his activities to look at what he's been doing lately. That kind of makes this come across as a kangaroo court type affair, if I'm being honest. The fact that your literal investigation / police isn't able to do their job because they can't access the records they need to do said job. I'm sorry, but that's kind of dumb. And how did this idiot get involved anyways?
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me.
How convenient. How very convenient.
But what can you expect from a human?
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Come here in person and I'll give you a boot up the ass.
Time, Counselor, and mine.
Note the phrasing. Apparently this guy's arrogant enough to think his time is more important than the time of the council he's supposed to be serving. Funny how that works, and sets off no alarm bells for anyone. Although I suppose being an arrogant dick isn't exactly alarm bell worthy.
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre. You need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence. So far, we've seen nothing.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing...
We really shouldn't be bringing this up. I don't think they'll take it well.
This kind of testimony.
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
Well, everything Saren's used to dismiss our arguments so far have been wild imaginings and reckless speculation, so I don't see how this would be any different, but no point adding anything else. You've already made up your minds, I can tell.
You made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is
Justice for everyone but the people who were actually wronged, you mean? Because that's how kangaroo court justice works.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
You know Saren somehow, Captain. What's up with that?
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
Okay, but what do we do now? The council doesn't seem too inclined to see our side, but I don't think going around them is going to win us any points.
What's our next step?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Yeah, we'll go have a word with him. He might have something for us.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
No, you can't be serious. You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this. That's just wrong.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
Exactly.
The ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Okay. But... He doesn't exactly sound reliable. Do we have any other leads?
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Yeah, figures. Now, you mentioned something about a history with Saren. Can you tell me about that?
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way. Innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Yeah. He does not sound like the nicest fellow, does he? And the killing civilians thing is definitely going to be bringing up bad memories of the slave raid on Mendwarf for Vin. So I don't think she'd be able to see him any other way than just a monster at this point in time,
Killing innocents
honestly.
doesn't end wars. It causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions, but only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
Not only a psychopath, but a clever psychopath. That is not very good, honestly.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
I hate politics.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own. They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
Yeah. A shadow organization with unlimited power, or that isn't restricted by laws. This is just asking for corruption and agents to go rogue. Honestly, I'd be surprised if any of them could be considered good moral people, given how we've heard this described. Quite frankly.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done. Like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation. But with him gone, things are still up in the air.
And them having unlimited power like this is just legal?
They sound like shadow operatives.
Somehow.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents. The last line of defense. The final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
Wait, you're telling me these are shadow operatives and assigned to preserve peace across most of the galaxy, and there's not even 100 of them? How the fuck does that even work?
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
So Jenkins was right about something. Would you credit that?
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics. Doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Huh. So little known that you don't even know their gender, or if it's a group of people or an individual. Insane.
Tell me about Bar Levon.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius. Doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, Spectres. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
I see.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
I see.
Maybe they'd let us join the Council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have us on the Council. But it wouldn't be much of a deal for us. I understand their side. They don't want us dominating the Council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances. But we have to look out for our own interests too.
Okay, fair enough. And that's enough listening to Anderson talk.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
We managed to clear all his dialogue, but that took a while. And we're picking up some more codex entries. I'll save those for a codex entry reading episode. next time we decide to do one of them. Hello. Okay.
That guy's up to something.
Yes. Suspicious dude over by the keeper.
The one over by the keeper.
So, let's have a word.
What? Oh, no, I wasn't. Never mind. Yes, is there something you want?
There is, as it happens.
Why are you so interested in the Keepers?
Keepers? I've got no interest in the
Don't get coy. I know what I saw.
I'm not so sure I should be talking to you about this.
We're just talking. Is there something wrong with that?
No. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm using a small scanner to gather readings on the Keepers. So far I've had mixed results. I find it difficult to get near the creatures.
Why were you being so secretive about it, though?
Well, technically we're not supposed to disturb the Keepers. I don't really think my scanning disturbs them, but the authorities might disagree. I'd like to do it more openly, but it's not really worth getting arrested over.
I'll give you a hand with that.
I can help you out. I'm not worried about the authorities.
I don't even know who you are.
I'm Commander Shepard with the Alliance military.
Well, I suppose I could use the help. You'll need this. It's the scanning device I developed. Activate it each time you see a Keeper. All collected data will automatically upload to my database. I'll even send a few credits your way for each unique scan.
And why are you so interested in scanning the Keepers anyways?
What are you doing with the data once you've scanned it?
That
I
also.
learn whatever I can about the Keepers. We see them working everywhere, yet we know so little about them. I'm a scientist. I want to know what makes them tick.
Okay then.
I should get going then.
Yes, I have much work myself. So long, and good luck with the scanning.
And we'll scan the one we're standing right next to. Yeah, so this is another side quest for scanning the Keepers. Located on the Citadel, and there's a total of 20 of them. Every time we scan one, we get a little bit of experience and some credits. And I'll just be casually doing it on the side as we move through things. For the time being, we'll head over to Cora's Den. And just do a few more main story things. A gentleman's club, you say?
That's her.
So, stripper house, basically. Pistol, I think. I'll overload and another fucker over there. Die already. There. Took a bit of a hard knock, but oh well.
Think we got him, Commander.
Alright. Well, I think we've been going long enough for this episode. So, this has been Dark Phoenix Gaming. Thank you for watching our latest installment of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Hope you'll join me next time when we'll be speaking to Harkin about this whole Garrus situation. And I see a rather interesting looking Turian sitting over there. I'll have a word with him as well and see if he doesn't have anything worth sharing. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to see more like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you then, folks. See you then.